so I don't forget. Okay, so I created this PowerPoint. So I actually did this PowerPoint. It's been a couple of months, but it's still everything that I do. Oh, let me mute everybody. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And feel free to, if you have any questions, interrupt me. I'm totally laid back. So here we go. Oh, all right. Here we go. Let me hide my face. Okay. So I signed up as a coach in October of 2013, just to give you kind of a timeline. So I've been a coach for about 18 months, but a little bit of my background is that I grew up an athlete, so I played soccer, and I never really knew much about nutrition because I was always so busy playing soccer that I just kind of ate whatever I wanted and I just burned it off. But I had a pretty unhealthy relationship with my body, like I think many teenage girls. And also, you know, it wasn't really, I just remember growing up, like, you know, people in my family or my friends are always like, oh, let's do a diet. It was always like, you know, trying to lose weight all the time. And then I went to college and I gained the freshman, gosh, I don't even know, like 30. I don't even know how much weight I gained, but I was so unhappy. And I remember that summer going home after freshman year, and I discovered the South Beach diet, and I lost, you know, most of my weight, and I felt awesome. But then I went back to school, and of course, that is just a diet. It doesn't teach you anything about nutrition. And so I gained weight back. And so I just kind of, throughout my early adulthood, went on this roller coaster of losing weight with the South Beach diet and gaining it back. And then I would spend hours doing cardio in the gym. And I remember I was pretty at my lowest weight when I met my now husband. We started dating. And so we were dating and we were in love, and, you know, you get like going out to dinner all the time. And so I gained weight again. And then I got pregnant unexpectedly. And so my life just totally changed. And after my first was born, I went through postpartum depression pretty bad. And I didn't, you know, I just kind of was lost. I didn't know who, like, I just was like, had a baby and had, you know, we weren't even married yet. And it was just this like spiral almost of like, and then I had to plan a wedding, and I never lost all that weight when we decided to have our second, my little boy. And I remember being so scared that I was going to have PPD again, and I ended up not having it, thankfully. And I just decided that I was going to lose my weight. I had about 50 pounds to lose. You can see this picture actually on the left is after my first, but I looked kind of pretty much the same after my second. And I was going to the gym and I was eating healthy and doing everything I thought, you know, you're supposed to do to lose weight, but I wasn't losing as much weight as I thought I should have been. And I actually had a woman that was my husband's boss at the time reach out to me to help me, because I had a mommy blog. I started a mom blog after I got laid off from AOL after my first baby. And she was like, I will help you if you blog about my business. And so I said, okay. So she taught me how to track, and I started losing weight right away when I started tracking my food. And she taught me about Tabata workouts and HIIT, like running, or I was mostly running. And so I was just tracking my heart rate. So I started blogging about my weight loss. I did it every month. I did it postpartum. So like 6 months postpartum, 7 months postpartum. I would put a picture on my blog of like, you know, what I looked like, what my weight was, and where my goal was. And so people started following me. And so I would share it on Facebook and I would share it on my blog. And in the meantime, my husband got laid off, and we moved to Charlottesville, Virginia. And at the time, we couldn't even my mom had to front us the money for our rent because neither of us had jobs. No one was going to rent to us. And I was in the middle of trying to sell my condo, and I just thought, oh, I'll just pay my mom back. Well, that fell through too. So, you know, we're just living there, and he can't find a job. And then I was in the gym there, and I saw this flyer for T25. People are getting together to do T25 in the morning. And I was like, oh, I want to try that. I miss my group workout classes. So I went to the gym at 6 a.m. and there was 5 people there. No one was a coach. I think the guy had a bootleg DVD. And every morning we would do T25 and I loved it. I didn't know about Beachbody. I didn't know, about Shakeology or anything like that. And so I started blogging about doing T25 because I was blogging about my weight loss. So then I had this guy from high school who kept commenting on my pictures and he was like, good job, keep it up. And so, when you comment on people's stuff on Facebook, you start to appear more in their newsfeed. So all of a sudden his stuff is popping up in my newsfeed. And so I saw a post that he wrote about quitting his job with Beachbody. And so I was like, what is that? And so I started researching it and I just thought, network marketing is not for me. Like that's a scam, whatever. So, but I was still curious. So we're like looking at our money every month, like going down and down and down and no jobs. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's maybe this is something. And he said the magic words to me. He said, Nikki, you're doing everything a coach does. You're just not getting paid. Because he was watching me on Facebook. I was helping people. I was telling people what I was doing. And I don't know, it was like a light bulb moment for me. And like it's something switched. And I just thought, well, maybe I can do this. And then I asked if I could do it without Shakeology because I was already drinking a protein shake. And he was like, I'll send you some samples. It's really hard to be a coach without Shakeology. Long story short, I was hooked. And so because I had put in all of that blogging time, I hit Success Club 16 my first month. I sold like $500 worth of T25 challenge packs. And I was just hooked. And I just decided, and I stayed up late watching all of these success stories on YouTube and on the online office. And I just kind of was like, okay, I think like this is what I'm supposed to do. So that's my story on how I got into Beachbody. And I always like to tell that because I think a lot of people play the comparison game in this business and they think, oh, I signed up the same time as her, but look at how well she's doing. But I really had 6 months before I signed up of already coaching. I was already preparing people so they were ready to buy that T25 as soon as I offered it. So these are my 8 tips in no particular order: belief, vision, confidence, goals, action, success partners, cold market, and leadership. So I'm going to go through kind of the things that really helped drive me to where I am. And also a big one that I didn't put on here, but I talk about a lot, and I talk about the gems, Danny Johnson's gems. You guys might talk about Color Code or Personality Plus. But I am a Ruby Sapphire. I'm very driven by goals and deadlines and recognition and rank. So I kind of just put the pedal to the metal because that's how I work. And learning the gems of my coaches was a game changer in my business because it was so important for me to realize that not everybody is driven the same and motivated the same as I am. And I, in the beginning, pushed a lot of my goals on my coaches, and it caused a lot of strain. And so as soon as I realized, like everyone's not, gonna push for the same things, that really was a game changer for me. So I don't have that as a slide on here, but I do really think that knowing your coach's personalities or color codes or gems is really, really important. So believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. I think one of the biggest things that we have to work on as coaches is confidence and believing that we can do this business, and believing that we are good coaches and that people want to join our teams and people want to have us as their coach and not anybody else. And so this is still a constant battle for me, even though, Jeff said I'm number 27 in the company. Like, it's still hard for me to believe that that is real and that I deserve to be on that list with all of those people that I see. It's just a constant work at personal development and believing that I can do it and I can push even harder and get even higher if that's what I want, which it is what I want. So, okay, vision. So part of my belief and building my confidence is visualizing what I want. This is a huge, huge, huge thing for me. I'm not I don't pray, but this is kind of like what I do is I have affirmations, and I kind of put things out into the universe, and I love The Secret. So I have this secret app over here on the left. So you can set it up to like every day it'll send you a new tip on ways to visualize or affirm. And really when you're doing that, you're just helping yourself believe, right? So this is another app that I have called Spirit Junkie, and I have an alarm that every day it like sends me a new affirmation. So this was the one that I really liked. I attract what I believe. But every day it just sends you a really nice affirmation. And then on the right, this is my my journal that I write my affirmations in. And so this was in January when I took this picture. It's just this little journal here that I got at HomeGoods. And so what you'll see is I put what I'm grateful for. So the first 3 lines are what I'm grateful for today. And then the next 3 lines are what I'm grateful for in the future. And I think it's really cool to see this now, because if you look at my very first, on the 17th, I put 2 of the things that I was grateful for in the future was Ben, my husband, being home to help out, and I was grateful for in the future a 6-figure business. And I can tell you that today my husband is home. I retired him in February, and I have a 6-figure business. So it's really cool to see, kind of to go back and see things that I affirmed or that I was grateful for in the future come to fruition. And then I always do my affirmations. This time I was really struggling with confidence. Even though I had just pushed really hard to Elite, and I was put into this group that they put 5-star and ups, and I just felt like such a small little person amongst all these great people, and I really struggled with that. I struggled with my confidence, and so I was every day just like getting in there. I guess that was the 7th, not the 17th. So every day every morning I was in my affirmation journal, just like really, really pouring into myself what I needed to hear, because I was just doubting myself, and I was in the deepest funk that I think I've been in this business. So just know that this business is like a roller coaster. Your highs are going to be high and your lows are going to be low. And it doesn't matter what your rank is, what your, whatever your diamonds are. It's always going to be, you're always going to have hard times. So, as long as you can pull out of those hard times, that's what's the most important thing. So just make sure that your why is really strong. My why was, well, I just changed, but it was bringing my husband home. That was like the number one goal for me the day I started the business, because we had been home together for so long because of unemployment, and we knew that it was awesome, other than the fact that we didn't have any money. So I knew, like, oh my gosh, if I could bring him home, we wouldn't have to worry about that money, then it would just be awesome. And so to actually have that happen, because I worked so hard for it, was just a really, really awesome feeling. So really have a strong why. Okay, confidence. So you can kind of see all these things tying in. This goes back to belief too. So I do want you guys to push out of your comfort zone. You're not going to grow unless you get uncomfortable. So one thing that I'm actually pushing myself to do this month is to do a What is Coaching webinar. So I've done one with my mentor, but she kind of like did the whole thing, and I just talked through half of it, but she did the whole webinar slides and everything. So this makes me really uncomfortable. I don't know why. I don't mind talking in front of people. I don't mind doing calls, but I don't know why a What is Coaching webinar is so uncomfortable to me. But to me, that tells me I need to do it, because that's the only way I'm going to grow. I do really, really, really encourage you to create your own team, like your own team page, as soon as you can, like as soon as you have a couple coaches, because that's going to give you practice, and it's going to grow your confidence that you don't necessarily need your upline for help. It's always nice to lean on them a little bit, but as soon as you start, creating your own team, it's just going to build your confidence. Okay, do take a lot of selfies. I know it's really uncomfortable to take selfies, but they really will change your business. I saw my business totally change once I stopped caring what other people thought about me and caring about me taking a lot of selfies, and just did it. And I will say, if you have a like page, that helps too, because it's always easier to put your selfies on your like page than it is to put on your personal page if you're worried about it. And do grow yourself. So always, always, always be reading personal development or listening to it or watching it on YouTube. A lot of times I will just, when I'm folding laundry, I will put on like my podcasts, or I'll listen to the National Wake Up Call, because that's something that I used to watch TV when I was folding laundry, and now I just listen to personal development. Because I know as a mom of 2 young kids, it's really hard to find quiet time to read. So don't compare yourself to others. As I mentioned before, that is a huge, huge thing in this business, and it's just going to make you feel like crap. So just compare yourself to yourself. Look at your, how far you've come. It's so easy to think like you're just pushing up a hill, but in reality, if you look back, I'm sure there's somewhere that you have improved, especially if you are doing personal development. Don't focus on your failures. Use your failures to just learn and fail forward. I remember when I first started, my coach didn't do challenge groups, so I was all on my own. And I was doing challenge groups for each program, and I was doing them for the entire program. So I would start T25, 10 weeks challenge group, and then the next month I would have both that group and then the next group and then the next. So I had all these challenge groups, and after 30 days, people usually fall off, but I was determined to figure out what wasn't why wasn't it working? So then I was like, oh, I guess they're too long. I've even had to shut down a couple because people weren't participating, but I was like, I'm not going to waste my time on people who aren't going to put in the work. So I use those failures to just learn from them and make myself better. And also, there's that famous YouTube video of famous failures, like Michael Jordan got cut from the high school basketball team. I mean, there's all those great failures of people who wouldn't have been where they are today if they hadn't failed. And I know it's really easy to just dwell on failures, but they're learning experiences. Don't listen to the haters. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, I've been pretty lucky that I haven't had a ton of haters, but yesterday I lost one of my best friends from college. She has been hating on me since the day I signed up for this business instead of supporting me. And I have been laughing it off. And then yesterday it was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I blocked her. And you know what? Like, she isn't a real friend if she is not going to support me. And there's just so many haters out there that don't understand this business and that don't get it. And that's fine. They don't have to get it. You are the one that is changing lives every single day. You are the one that maybe this has changed your life and this has made you happier. And who is somebody to hate on that? Obviously it's something within themselves that they just can't get over. If I heard her call Beachbody a pyramid scheme one more time, I was just going to throw my phone at her face. Good thing she lives in New Jersey. So anyways, don't dwell on self-doubt. That's another thing that personal development helps with. If you're constantly doubting yourself, it's just going to put you deeper into that hole, and it's going to be hard to come out of. So I like this little quote: be weird, be random, be who you are. Because being weird is being you, and people connect to that. People want to connect with you and not somebody else. So don't worry about other people and just focus on yourself. Okay, setting goals. This is super important. I never really set goals before until I became a coach. They were all in my head, or they were done when I worked at AOL. Like, we had to do goals, and they were all based on, like the VP's goals, and they were dumb. So setting goals is huge. These were my goals that I set. I was 2 months into coaching. I was an Emerald, and I set these goals. And so I didn't put dates on them, which is really, really what you need. So the dates you see here are actually when I hit those goals. So now I always set goals. I'll do daily goals for kind of like how many people I want to reach out to or invite. I'll do monthly goals. So like, what are my Success Club numbers? What's my coach number that I want to hit, my recruitment number? quarterly goals. So usually my quarterly goals revolve around the quarterly bonus. So if I'm trying to rank advanced for the quarterly bonus, I'll set, goals for that. And then yearly goals. So these might be more like personal goals, like you want to pay off your student loans, or you want to, pay off your mortgage. So luckily, even though my husband and I, we had hardly any money, we didn't have any debt. That was the one thing that we were really, really lucky with, that we had no debt and we didn't have to go into debt. So you won't see any debt freedom goals, because I didn't have any other than our mortgage. And then we did get a new car, so now we have a car payment, but we didn't have car payments before. So you can see I kind of hit almost all of these within 2014. So I hit diamond in February. I didn't take a honeymoon. I tend to really aim really, really high, and that's okay, because it's always good to push for something. You're always gonna have hit something if you aim high. So make enough with Beachbody to quit my social media gig. So I was, I didn't say this in my story, but I was doing freelance writing and social media contracting out of my house when I first started Beachbody. So I was able to quit one of those jobs in January, and then I quit my last one right before Summit. We bought a new house. I got PIO certified. I started doing free PIO classes. And then we got a new car. And then I didn't make $2K a week until 2015, but I did get into my size 4 jeans, and I helped way more than 50 people. So if you have goals written down, it's just really easy to visualize them. And then those can also go back into your affirmations. And if you're pushing for diamond, you can say, I am a diamond coach, and I had, on my whiteboards in my office, I would have, I am a 5-star diamond coach by this date. And so I just had like every rank. It was like, I am a 2-star diamond coach on July 30th. I am a 4-star diamond coach on. So I always had those goal dates. I don't think I made a single one by the dates that I wanted to, but they were there in my mind every day. When I was on my computer, I was looking at those goals. Okay, taking action. So I got to put the 3 vital behaviors in here just because, I know you know them. So number 1, invite. So I like to break this down a little bit easier for my coaches and call it connect. So you're not just blindly inviting people every day. You're connecting with them on a personal level and informing people. So you're, writing on people's pictures on Facebook, and you're going through your contact list and just making sure you are giving people love, and you're just making sure that they feel cared for. And so that when you do have a challenge group coming up, it's not just like, oh, hey, I haven't talked to you in 5 years, join my challenge group. It's like you've been, commenting on their pictures, and they've maybe been commenting on yours, and you just sort of like, hey, I was thinking about you, and I have a challenge group coming up. Or, hey, I was thinking about you, I think you would be a really awesome coach. So don't just blindly go out there and like invite everyone you know. Start really trying to build those relationships and really seeing if those are the kind of people that you want to work with. I have made the mistake of inviting somebody onto my team that was, I didn't know her as well as I thought. And in the end, I was like, I wish I would have, gotten to know her a little bit better, because it wasn't a very good match. So just always being sure that you are depositing good things into people's lives. Okay, number 2, be proof the product works. So a lot of times people get into this business and get really excited about the business side, and they really slack on their own fitness. Guilty. And so it's really important, because you have to be proof of the product works, because otherwise who's going to trust you? If you're not, constantly talking about your workouts or drinking your Shakeology and sharing that with people, it's going to be really hard for them to trust you enough to join you. So, and I really, really strongly urge you to be honest. Like when you fall off the wagon, talk about it. People want to know that you're human. Like I have done maybe like 2 workouts since I got back from Cancun, which I feel like crap, but I owned up to it on social media. And so many people are like, thanks for being honest. Because before Cancun, I was like working out every single day, doing extreme. Like I was like doing so awesome. And so it just makes you more real when you fall off the wagon, because that's normal. Like people we're not like maybe a few coaches are, but I'm not like a competitor. And like, I would rather eat, chocolate than, well, I have Shakeology, but I would rather, eat peanut butter out of the jar like all day than eat salad. Like, so just be real. But also, the number one way I think to get people to join your challenge group is to do before and after pictures, or before and current. So if you have like, something quick, like do the 3-day refresh and put up your before and afters, or something like really, it's 21-day fix. That's a great one too, because you can get results like that and you can show people and invite them to a challenge group. Okay, number 3, personal development. So it's a common theme throughout my presentation, and also my team calls me the personal development monster, because it has just changed my life. It changed my business. I didn't take it seriously in the beginning because I thought it was cheesy, but as soon as I was watching videos and everyone talked about it, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's important. And now I'm looking over at all my books, but I'm always, and I can tell when people aren't doing personal development. They respond hostilely, is that a word? They're like very hostile, and get mad about people who don't buy from them. And I'm just like, okay, you need to do personal development. It's very easy to tell who's not doing it. And then I have here, don't forget to track your actions. I have a tracker that I use. Some of you might use the business activity tracker. I have my own tracker that I created that I track weekly. I track everything from like the number of likes on my like page. I track how many customers I have. I track my volume, my income, how many Instagram followers I have, how much PD I did, how many workouts I did. I track my husband's account, and I can see where I need to like step it up, or I can see what's working, or I can go back. I've been tracking since June, so almost a year now I've been tracking. It's so cool to go back when I feel like, oh, my income's it's not growing, and I can look back and be like, oh my gosh, it so has grown. It's the compound effect. It takes a little bit of time. So I highly recommend tracking. And I am so not organized, but the tracker is the one thing that I'm super organized with. And I know you're probably like, yeah, right. Like you have this like nice slideshow. You're definitely organized, but believe me, I'm not. I like to do pick monkey. Success partners. Success partners has really changed my business. Having somebody who is on the same path as me has been really helpful. I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm looking for a success partner. I'm a mom, and I'm, like they feel like they have to be like very similar to their success partner, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you just have to have the same goals or the same work ethic. Somebody who's going to push you and kind of call you out when you don't do what you said you were going to do. So I have a success partner, and she doesn't have any kids. She is married, but we are pretty much best friends, and we're chatting every day, and she's in the top 10. So she pushes me really hard, and we're just constantly kind of like a healthy competition with each other, like where are you at Success Club? And, if I'm lower than her, I'm like, okay, I got to step it up. And I also have other partners or push people that are all like, we have a little group, and we're, all at different levels, and we just use our group to brainstorm. And I'll tell you though, it might take a few success partners before you find the right person. It's kind of like dating. So don't feel bad if you like don't really hit it off with somebody. It's just kind of something that you have to figure out on your own. Because I feel like I've tried to do the matchmaker thing with some of my coaches, and they never work out when I try to match them up. So I'm always urging my coaches to kind of like find their own. And with my success partners, we'll kind of put our coaches in groups, like push groups together. And so they kind of meet each other. Oh, I see some chats. People have questions. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Squirrel. Oops. How do I go back to this? Oh, here we go. Okay. Anyways, where was I? Okay. Cold market. So growing your cold market is so important. If you're a brand new coach, do this tomorrow. Like right now, decide what you like for social media or growing your cold market and just start. Because what happens, I see so many times, is new coaches sign up and they're like kicking ass and, hitting Success Club, and they aren't growing their cold market at all. And all of a sudden, like, after 2 or 3 months, they're like, shit, like I don't have any, but like no one's interested in my challenge group and I don't have any Success Club points. And it's because they ran out of their warm market. They ran out of all their friends and their family. So I was kind of lucky in the fact that I had my blog, and I already actually had my like page from my blog because I was a mommy blogger. But I tell you, I didn't really do anything with my like page until I became a coach. And so I have my blog, my like page, and actually I've been such a blog slacker. Gosh, if you go to my blog today, I don't think I've blogged in like a week. But anyways, I get most of my cold market coaches and customers through my like page, through running Facebook ads. And also I get a lot of people from my profile is public, and I'm always trying to add people to my profile through Facebook groups. And I'm always, interacting in the group. I'm not like going in there and like doing some salesy invite in a group. I'm just in there, whatever, if it's a mom group, I'm trying to like help people with answers and then kind of growing those relationships. So either they friend request me, or if I friend request them, I know that they probably would be comfortable enough to accept me. And then I have an Instagram page. I don't really use Instagram that much for coaching. If you go to it, you'll see that there is a lot of Beachbody stuff because that's just like my life. So, but I don't actively go on Instagram and search for customers or coaches. I've gotten a couple through Instagram, just kind of by accident because they were following me, but it's not my, my most used avenue. And then Pinterest, I usually put everything for my blog on Pinterest. So I get a lot of traffic to my blog from Pinterest, but most of them are people who are looking for 21-day fix references. And usually those people already have coaches, right? So I just pick one thing or two things. Don't try to do everything because, hold on, I have like a tickle. Because people in Beachbody have shiny ball syndrome. So they see, oh my gosh, so-and-so's Instagram page is like, Carlito Carlos' Instagram page is so amazing. I'm going to do Instagram. And so they stop what they're doing and they do Instagram. And then they're like, oh, but so-and-so had that really great thing on Facebook ads. I'm going to do Facebook like page. And then they stop their Instagram page. So they're never giving their cold market avenue a chance to grow. You just have to be consistent in one thing and really hone in on that. I know Melanie Mitro she nails that in with her blog. She talks all the time about how her blog, she's just very consistent with her blog. And if I was more consistent with my blog, I probably would get a lot more prospects from it, but I'm not. So Facebook like page is my main source of cold market prospects. And if you make it, if you're just posting like motivational tips and quotes and you're never putting your face on that page, it's going to be a lot harder. People want to see your face. They want to connect to you even though you're a stranger. That's really, really important. If you go to like Amy Silverman's like page, or who else has a really good, Megan Ewaldson, like their like page is all them. It's like they're like a celebrity, and that's what people like are attracted to them. So make it all about you. Okay, this is my last tip, leadership. So take action. I challenge you all to create your own team Facebook page. Even if there's only one or two of you, even if you only have a couple coaches, and it might be quiet on your page. It might be really quiet, but it just takes practice and you growing your team and getting bigger. But don't get discouraged because it will really grow. Start doing weekly team calls too. So even if you just I started out, it was just a couple of us, and we would get on Zoom and we would just talk about our wins for the week, our things that we struggled with for the week, and we would talk about a personal development takeaway. And that was what we did every week. We didn't have any of these fancy like slideshows and guest speakers. I do that now, but when it was just me and my new coaches, when we were all starting out together, we just got on Zooms, and I think that created this bond with us. And they just, I think a lot of them probably would have quit if we didn't do that. And now they're all my diamonds. And so it just was this like team bonding every single week, getting on the calls and talking and getting to know each other. Check in with your coaches weekly. A lot of coaches will kind of, be quiet and they don't want to bother you. But if you're checking in with them, then it's better. It's better for those quiet coaches, because there's going to be coaches that won't leave you alone, and there's going to be coaches that never want to bother you. So make sure you're reaching out to those quiet ones. When you are starting to have a team and you're trying to help them, get yourself to Success Club first, and then after you get to Success Club, to whatever your goal is, then dedicate yourself to your coaches and helping them hit Success Club, because they're going to be grateful for that. But also that helps the balance. I see so many of my new diamonds, they will just help their coaches so much, and then they're at the end of the month like trying to get themselves to Success Club, and I'm just like, you got to turn that around. Get yourself to Success Club, then get your coaches. And offer to lead new coach training. So probably one person's leading coach training, and it's kind of like their thing, and then as the team grows and grows and grows, and I'm speaking from experience because I had to just ask my coaches to help me, like my diamonds. I was like, can we please have people doing new coach training so I'm not always the one, because I don't want everyone to look at me as the leader, the only leader. I want them to be like, there are other leaders on this team, and I'm not the only leader. So offer to lead some new coach trainings for your upline. Make sure you're staying on top of the breaking coach news in the Coach Online office. Along with that, make sure you're using the FAQs and using Google, and really duplicating that with your coaches, because I see so many times that people just are constantly asking their coach, and then they're not learning anything. And it really helps if you get familiar with FAQ and then you always send your coaches there. And then make sure you're doing recognition every week for your coaches. It's really, really important to praise them for what they do. It doesn't even have to be like Success Club points or personal volume. It can be anything from like, hey, Sarah had this really awesome Facebook post. I'm really proud of her. So-and-so, sold his first challenge pack. I'm so proud of him. Just like the littlest things that you think maybe aren't important, but it really, really helps your coaches feel special, especially when they're new. And any success is great for a new coach, because that's going to keep them in the game a lot longer. I forgot to show you guys this. I have this, this is what I do every month. I put my check. Can you see this? My camera's not open. Oh, anyways, I put like check boxes of like how many Success Club points I'm pushing for and how many coaches I'm pushing for, and then I check them off as I go. It's like a visual for me. And then I have affirmations up here so that I always have those in my head. And so that really helps me too as a visual. Oh, I did put a gem slide in here. These are the gems, if you guys were wondering what they were. Emerald, pearl, ruby, sapphire. And they're motivated by different things. And this is ways to kind of figure out what they are, and things ways to motivate them, like gifts to give them. I know my rubies, I can like shine, I can hold a carrot over, like be like, hey, whoever hits, Success Club 10, gets this mug, or they just like presents. They just like stuff like that. Okay, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So in closing, I just want to make sure that you guys believe in yourself and know that you are a leader and you can do this business. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, you can unmute. No questions? How do I run my ads on my like page? Budget kinds of ads. So I usually run, so my budget's changed. So now I spend a little bit more money, but like right now I'm running a coaching ad for 1 week. I have a budget of $100, and I will probably run I probably will run more than one in the month. I've just been trying to test them, because last month I ran an ad for $10 a day for the entire month, and it didn't do very well. So I'm trying to test different ways to do my ads. But I usually do a page post engagement. So I have a link to my application. But that's how I do them. Yeah, I'll put this on YouTube so you guys can watch it. I saw somebody was struggling with a cost objection. I have a video on my YouTube. I did a team call um, on inviting, and then it went over the cost objection.
Can you hear me, Nikki?
Mm-hmm.
So the cost objection is something I get all the time too. If you feed into the cost objection, they're going to sense that, and you're going to be on this downward spiral down. Tommy Migrant, basically, and I had a conversation a long time ago about this cost objection thing. And when they come to you and they say, man, Shakeology is so expensive, your immediate response should be, no, it's really not. And then you explain why. You know, he also uses the verbiage, you know, I don't know about it being expensive. All I know is, and then he tells the story behind it. So if you guys show that you agree with them, it is expensive, but it's not gonna work out. You have to show them. You have to immediately respond with, no, it's really not, and you give them your reason why it's not expensive. You talk about the superfoods. You talk about trying to break all this apart and buy it individually. They're going to realize, you know what, it's not really expensive. And then you offer to sell them seven packets for $35 versus 120. When you go from 129 to 35 bucks, they're going to say, yeah, I can do that for 35 bucks. They're going to try it for a week and it's all over. They're going to love it. You know, just like Nikki talked about, she objected to Shakeology at first and then she tried it and it was all over. So do a 7-day week pack versus, you know, having them buy a full bag. So you say, no, it's really not. You talk about the power of Shakeology. You offer them 7-day weeks, and boom, it's done. Or you go the other route and say, you know, I don't know about all that. All I know is Shakeology's done this for me. Blah blah blah. You talk about it. Don't feed into the verbiage that, man, Shakeology is expensive. Use those two things, and everything's going to change for you guys.
Yep. Nadine says, I'm horrible about inviting. You can watch my YouTube video. It might help you. Carlos, any recommendations for someone in IT that is constantly being told by everyone they talk to that they'll just download the program off BitTorrent because they don't want to spend the money? That's horrible. I would just keep finding people that are going to want to take advantage of, you know, what you have. And also, you can't download Shakeology. So, you know, if they respect you and know that this is, you know, a way that's you're making your family money, then I would say just move on from them, and maybe they'll come back around when they see you, you know, having this great business. Maybe they'll come back around and want to be involved in the business side of things.
Agreed. Shakeology is the business, guys. Shakeology is the opportunity. Shakeology is why you guys are going to have great businesses. It's not the programs. You will sell a lot of programs and you will use them with challenge packs and challenge groups. But Shakeology is the business. And Nikki just said it best. You cannot download Shakeology.
Yep. Okay, Eden Lee, do you present the opportunity to everyone from a discount coach perspective as well? Do you lead with opportunity? Yes, always. I always at least offer the discount to all of my challengers. You know, even if, you know, I mean, I always offer the discount just because I think, why wouldn't you take the discount? But I always lead with opportunity, and I'm always talking about the opportunity on Facebook. Every single chance I get is always about the business, like, but not in a salesy way. So what I'll do is I'll do it like, you know, oh, I love being home with my kids, or something like, so my husband's retired. We went to the museum, the Air and Space Museum on Tuesday, I think. So I took pictures of us there, and I was just like, you know, I didn't even say anything about Beachbody, but I just made it like very obvious that we're in the middle of the day when everyone's at work. We're at the Air and Space Museum because my job is a Beachbody coach and Ben's not working anymore. So it's just like any way you can kind of like spin your daily life about the business, do that. And I have people that come to me for the opportunity. They never have even like had Shakeology or done a program, but they see the potential in the business, and so they come to me for that. So, and I just am passionate about this business and what it's done for my life, and so I think it's just, I have to talk about it. I have to tell people and share this amazing business. If that helped answer your question. Do I always wear and share? I don't want to overdo it. Not, I mean, I don't ever really do it on purpose. I do it just because a lot of things I have are comfortable. But the other day, my husband we were at the outlet mall, and he was wearing a Shakeology hoodie, and I was wearing this 21 Day Fix one. And somebody asked him about his Shakeology hoodie, and he was like, "She can tell you about it." But I have so much Beachbody stuff just from like, Success Club things. So I'm pretty much always wearing it, whenever I'm in the airport or just out with my kids. I don't wear it like, barbecues or parties, but most people.
You know what? I was going to say, those that are not wearing Beachbody stuff all the time and wearing, Affliction shirts, American Fighter, whatever you're wearing, sharing that stuff every day. So what's the big deal? I mean, whenever I go out of the house, generally, I'm going to the gym, if I'm going to the mall, I generally have something Beachbody on, whether it's a P90X hat or a jacket in the spring, or right now at the gym, a tank top. I almost always have something on because it's the number one way people ask me questions. Nikki just hit it on the head. Someone asked her husband about a Shakeology jacket. We have cool name brands. We have really well-known name brands. And people are generally going to ask you. I'm going to Disney next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I can guarantee you I'm going to have something on because I will probably get 10 to 12 to 15 contacts that day from people that are going to ask me while I'm standing in line. So, yeah, I wear and share almost all the time when I'm out and about. I'm kind of known as that P90X guy in my local community here. So I say do it.
I don't even think about it. Like, I just wear it because I like it. And like, I never think about overdoing it. But yeah, because they're so soft, and like this hoodie I've been wearing for like 4 days. Oh, cool. That's cool, Nadine. That's a cool story. Yeah, I feel like I have another wear and share story, but I can't remember. It's an easy way to like kind of bring up the conversation too, So
my favorite wear and share was probably, I don't know if you've been around. How long have you been a coach, Nikki?
18 months.
Okay, so do you remember the Diamond Packs?
No.
Vaguely? No? Man, I'm an old fart. So I've been around a while, and for some of you on the call, the Diamond Pack was this awesome, really huge blue box, and it had like 7 programs in it, and Shakeology, and some supplements, and it was somewhere around the vicinity of, I don't know, I think it was somewhere around $299 if I remember right. And you got like 6 or 7 programs. And I remember being in line and we basically hit it off. You wanted to try P90X, you wanted to try Insanity, which are part of the Diamond Pack. I ended up selling him a Diamond Pack from my iPhone in line. So because I was wearing wear and share, and I basically got, I think the Diamond Pack came with like $100 commission. So I mean, just from standing in line, wear and share. So yeah, you can do business anywhere these days with your smartphones.
That's awesome. That's a really good deal too.
Yeah, they got rid of it just because nobody really generally was buying it anymore. It just was something in there. So they changed it now to I think it's called the Showcase Pack now, and I think they just rotated out the programs that kicked it off, P90X3 and T25, and now I think it's both versions of 21 Day Fix and PIO now.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So much for
thank you.
I hope it helps.
You're going to post this on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Okay, so she will post this on YouTube so we can share with it. It's going to be a little bit different than our customary iTunes. We have a podcast and everything, so we will just refer everybody to teamleadershipcalls.com. That's where we will take her link and post it for this week, and then we'll also post on the team pages. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys.
Bye.